And now, time to get in the huddle with your host, Charles Prodigy Richey, here on the Man of Steel podcast.
Hey, you blink, I'll cut your eyelids off. Don't you blink. I got you. Let's go.
You get where you feel like you can rush the quarterback. You understand? Yeah. Rush the quarterback. Bangs in for the touchdown, and there's the coup de grace.
Do you have room in the trophy for another one there? You got 6 of them. Now you're the winningest franchise in NFL history.
We'll make room.
I want to swing things around the NFL right now. Once again, for those of you tuning in, watching the Man of Steel podcast here on Facebook Live through Zoom, I'm Charles Prodigy Richey, being joined by CBS sports writer Bryan DeArdo. And let's talk about, too, first topic number one, that's leading. And I want, before we get to Patrick Mahomes, but the Washington Redskins right now, Daniel Snyder finally came out Friday publicly, according to Adam Schefter, after years of being so much in defense of the team name, which they had since 1933, and refusing to change the name. A lot of African Americans have spoken out over time, saying that the name has come across as offensive. So what ends up happening recently, you have their home stadium, one of their partners, who's with FedEx Field, say, listen, if you're not going to change this name, we're going to move on from you. And then you had Nike pulling off products right now. And then you got another one, I think, with Amazon. I think that was just announced today. So what do you think was, like, the difference for the Redskins? I mean, a lot of things, I would feel like with George Floyd, his murder, it was going to be picking up some momentum. But I really felt like, in my eyes, it was Nike. Once you start pulling off merchandise from the websites where you can't sell stuff anymore unless you change the name, I think that was the biggest tipping factor. What do you think made them consider this in your eyes? It's not a done deal yet.
Well, yeah, it was Nike and it was FedEx. I mean, when you're losing all that money, I mean, when big organizations like that, because now you've got Amazon, you've had Target, you've had Walmart. I mean, now it's been a domino, and I just think that, like, it comes off as very hypocritical when you are touting your support of the current movement and you say that you're for all lives and Black lives and everything, and then your letterhead says what it is, Redskins. It's like it's hypocritical. So I think that they knew now that it was over. I think they realized the more they are, the worse it's going to make them look. I mean, they held on to that name for a long time. I mean, and they have been criticized for a long time for having that name. And I think that now, and I don't think it was ever intended to be hurtful or to, I mean, I did an article on it. I mean, the name Redskins starts, I mean, they were called the Braves initially, and then they hired Native American coach and players, and then they wanted to be called Redskins, but that doesn't make it right either. I'm just saying, like, it started with Native Americans wanting that name, but things have changed. People have been sensitive to it. And so now it's time for a change. And I think that that's okay. I mean, things change. We evolve as a society. I mean, the only thing in life that is a sure thing is change. I mean, the one constant in life is change. I mean, so, the Steelers changed their jerseys in 1997. I didn't like it, but did they ask me? No. Did I stop cheering for the Steelers? No. I accepted that they had round numbers, and now I like them. So it's like, I love the block throwbacks. One day they'll get rid of them. I won't like it, but that's life. It just, to me, pick your battles, right? Like, they're going to change their name. Deal with it. If you want to cheer for the team, great. If you don't, great. I live in Ohio right now. The Indians is a big thing. I mean, I have some friends that could care less. I have some friends that are just – I had a friend literally say, like, I would rather them just disband the team if they're going to change their name. So, and even I know that some people are upset that the NBA is going to say Black Lives Matter on the court during the games in the bubble. I don't understand why you'd have an issue with it. If you're a fan of basketball, you don't want to take part in the movement, that's fine, and you don't want to watch, that's fine. But at the end of the day, like, I could care less what's written on the court as long as it's not offensive. Black Lives Matter is not offensive, so why do you care? Who cares if they play the Black National Anthem before week 1? Like, who cares? Don't watch it. I mean, because at the end of the day, the ball's going to get tipped up. The ball's going to get kicked off. We're going to have our sports. I don't understand why people are getting so worked up over it. Personally, to me, it's all positivity, in my opinion. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Right now we're all trying to be more aware of social injustice and just in general, just being more kind to each other. Being more aware that we all come from different backgrounds and ethnicities and experiences. And it's important to just try to understand more where the other person's coming from. And so to me, it's just like, and even with this pandemic now, it's like people are mad. I mean, I have a family member that's upset that, the state that Baltimore's not going to let more than 14,000 fans in the stadium. It's just like, aren't you happy that you're at least going to get football? And I think that's
on
where
TV
NFL
at least, or
fans,
stream it.
right? I mean, at least like here's my thing is this: if we have a season this year, I'm going to be happy. A season, it could. I'm not even hoping. I don't even think we'll have a 17 or a 16-week season or 17. I just think right now, if we have a season that finishes with a Super Bowl champion being crowned, that is to me what I'm holding out for. Whether or not there are fans there, to me, anything else is icing on the cake. To me, the cake is getting the season, and then anything else after that, if fans can come, if we can get our 16 weeks, if it's exciting football, it's icing on the cake. Fans being there doesn't matter to me, really.
Also, too, aside from that, trending this past week, the headline of this week, following the 4th, Patrick Mahomes gets his big-time money deal. He signs a 10-year contract extension, which is the richest in all of North American sports. He is going to be having a 10-year, $450 million, which is worth up to at the maximum of $503 million. This, according to Adam Schefter, includes $141.5 million injury guarantee with no trade clause, and still 2 years remaining on current deal at $27.8 million. We always see a lot of quarterback contracts go up the last decade. Like each year, it almost seems like something's being topped in the market. But with that being said, and Patrick Mahomes, Marcus Spears hit the nail right on the head. He's definitely once in a lifetime talent you see right here. But how much do you think Dak Prescott right now, a guy who's still waiting for a contract with the Cowboys, he's going to be tagged this year for $31.4 million. People are speculating if he should probably consider holding out this season. Does he have any type of leeway he could sway towards the Cowboys and getting a big time money contract in your eyes?
They paid Zeke and they paid Amari Cooper. They already paid their guys. So I think the Cowboys pinned themselves, and then they paid is it Jalen Smith, their linebacker. So they've got 4 guys or 3 guys making a lot of money already. So I think I don't know where they're going to get this money, and that's the issue with Jerry Jones. You got to prioritize who's getting the money. I remember when Ben clearly makes a ton of money. Antonio made a ton of money. There wasn't any money. There was money left over for Bell, but then at that point, if you ever get a defense that's going to be worth anything, you're going to have to start paying those guys. So, eventually, it's you kind of just have to draw a line in the sand, or you have to make a priority list and say, okay, here are the guys we need to keep, and how much are we willing to pay them? And here's the other thing. Prescott still isn't that great. He's not. He's not that great. I don't and I think Dallas still wants to see him elevate his game. I get that he threw for a bunch of yards last year, but they still didn't make the playoffs. That's not all on him, but in big games, he didn't step up and make enough big plays. I mean, they lost to a Jets team that was just dreadful at the beginning of the season. They got better, but they faced the Jets when the Jets were down. I mean, to me, Prescott doesn't do enough in the big moments, and and they gave him every weapon to be successful. So I just think that I don't know. The Cowboys can't afford that contract. So unless the salary cap really goes up and other guys willing to take, I mean, Zeke would have to take a pay cut. Cooper would have to take a pay cut. And even that might not be enough. So I think this is actually a negative. I think this is good for Prescott if he has a monster season and wants to try to get a deal somewhere else. But I think the thing that people need to understand is Mahomes is just like, he's playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. Like, Mahomes is not just the best quarterback in the league, he's the best player in the league. Like, Mahomes overcame, and his teammates overcame 3 10-point-plus deficits in the playoffs this year. Never been done before. They were down 24, and they won by 20. They couldn't do anything against the 49ers for 50 minutes, and then they just ran away with the game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is just – I mean, their GM said it best during the conference call yesterday. Like, if we put weapons around a healthy Mahomes, it's unstoppable. And it is. I mean, Mahomes is already a couple more years like this, and you can put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's already Andy Reid said yesterday he's not going anywhere. So I think if Prescott has a big season, shoot, you never know. Maybe Ben gets hurt or Ben wants to retire. Now all of a sudden we've got that Steelers have all that money opening. I think it'll help him in terms of maybe being a $35 million guy or something like that. But I don't know how much it helps him, to be honest.
I will also add to Patrick Mahomes, there's one other factor you forgot to point out, too, and I will say this. How about especially the fact, too, when he got hurt during the season on the Thursday night game playing in Denver as knee injury right there, and looking back at the report that this is something that could pop back up and catch up with him, but he's still able to, like, weather the storm, miss a couple of games, come back, will your team to a first-round bye, being the Patriots late in the season, and having them lose, overcome these comebacks in the playoffs, 24-point deficit, 10-point deficit, 10-point deficit in the Super Bowl. He also overcame a lot of physical, mentally, and emotional pain, too, to, like, earn that contract and still be lights out on prime time. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be another factor.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point.
Also, too, looking at the NFL, as we take a look around the league right now with everything going on. So as you saw, like Patrick Mahomes' contract, he's got 12-year, $427.6 million. Next up will be Mike Trout of the Angels, 12 years for $426.5 million. Bryce Harper, 13 years with the Nationals for 13 years, $330 million. They got Giancarlo Stanton, 13-year for $325 million. And last but not least, Garrett Cole, 9-year, $324 million right there. And we already discussed everything.